Hello children, how are you all? Are you all safe at home? Hope everyone is fine. Are you all staying home without coming out for any purpose? That is very important because in our surroundings, wherever you see, someone is saying that someone has passed away because of this coronavirus, because the situation is becoming very worse nowadays. That is why you are instructed or advised to remain home. Don't come out of your home for any purpose, either your parents or you. And either educated or uneducated, we are not behaving properly. That is not at all staying at home, not wearing the mask properly. That is why in this society, we are all protected and guided by some persons who are not caring about themselves, taking risks and coming forward to help us. Such persons are called frontline workers. And today in this video, we are going to discuss about this frontline workers who are all working hard without time limit in order to protect the society, help the society. And those workers are called frontline workers. About them only we are going to see in this. That is, apart from studies, this week no academic side. We are going to discuss anything to improve our skills, to know more related to society or to generally to improve your knowledge or skills. The videos are going on, and today we are going to learn about the frontline workers who are all helping us. Frontline workers are those people of all types, including doctors, nurses, pharmacists, vegetable vendors, milkman, ambulance drivers, volunteers, everyone. And these people are the backbone of the effective health system and serve millions of people. Frontline health workers provide services directly to communities, especially in remote and rural areas. They are the first and often only link to essential health services for millions of people. They constitute a critical part of the implementation cadre within public, serving a significant role in the delivery of public goods and services. From the first responders, hospital technicians, nurses, and doctors, all will have been emotionally scared by this terrific medical experience. We have referred to our fight against COVID war as a war. And if the analogy is correct, then our frontline health workers, who have been referred to as being in the trenches, have courageously and selflessly been fighting to save lives. Because of their experiences, like other soldiers returning from wars, they too will suffer from the trauma, what they witnessed, the trauma they felt, and the sickness and the death. All of their senses have been challenged. They have seen death. They have smelled sickness. They have listened to ventilators and heart monitors endlessly. They have touched pulseless patients. They have tasted their own breath behind masks. Healthcare workers sometimes feel as if they are going crazy, but they are not. We have learned from the past, from survivors of all kinds of extraordinary catastrophes, that what they are struggling with are normal reactions to extremely abnormal events. In the frontline workers, doctors stood first. Doctors and healthcare workers who are responding to a global health crisis, trying to protect individuals, families, and communities in adverse situations. In spite of shortage of personal protective equipment, they are working for our wellness without time limit. We need a whole society resolve that we will not let our frontline soldiers become patients. They too have families and so will also naturally be fearful that the virus might reach that they love most. We must give these health workers all the support they need to do so their jobs be safe and stay alive. There have been several reported incidents of violence against them during this pandemic time. The reasons for violence against healthcare workers may vary from fear, anxiety, panic, misinformation, mistrust, and misplaced quotes in the social media. We should have awareness about this pandemic and we should learn how to treat these real heroes. As the number of cases increases day by day, there is no enough bed facilities to accommodate the patients. Hence, those having mild infections may step on to telemedicine. Telehealth has been a game changer and one of the positives that has emerged out of this COVID 19. It will be an integral part of healthcare in the post COVID 19 era. Next, in the frontline workers stood nurses. Nurses have many duties, including caring for patients, communicating with doctors, administering medicine, and checking vital signs. Making up for the biggest healthcare jobs, nurses play an important role in medical field, that too in this pandemic situation. They do not go home for several days. They meet their family members through video calls only. Without time limitation, they are working very hard. They work in a passionate manner to save our lives. During COVID-19 pandemic chain, the police have come in the front line for the enforcement of the lockdown. The task of enforcing a rule like crowd control, investigation of criminal acts, tracing of people who are infected with the virus are the tasks which are required skills in which only the police have experience. With the extension of lockdown, the role of police in the pandemic also extended, like helping the poor and the helpless. Even in some cases, when no one was available to claim the dead body, police helped in ferrying of dead bodies. In a society struck by a deadly virus, strict maintenance of public order is most essential. Only then can those affected by the disease be looked after and given the best medical care. Law enforcement is therefore only next to healthcare in its criticality. The police have taken enormous risks during the lockdown. What helped the police greatly was public cooperation, without which there would have been chaos. With the bulk of the population keeping off the streets, the police could bring in equipment and manpower to handle this unusual situation. To affect the movement restriction of the lockdown, most of the police forces started feeding programs for the poor, either by becoming a bridge between the kitchens run by the government or at many places by organizing a drive by police staff themselves for feeding the poor on the sidelines of their job. As the public started seeing the police interface with relief work, their service orientation and their connectivity with those who needed help, the trust of the public that police would deliver and reach out became stronger. A major challenge for public officials is keeping prisons free of the virus. Many prisons have taken steps to insulate prisoners who reported positive. In this way, the police department help our society in various ways and do their hard work to control the pandemic. The next comes reporters in the frontline workers. To inform the public during these uncertain times, newsrooms across the country have made pandemic coverage a priority. Reporters have to collect the data on the COVID cases in hospitals where they could be easily infected. Respecting the difficulties they face in daily life and the importance of their work, government has announced them also as frontline workers. As with any major breaking news story, a journalist's first instinct is to get to the scene quickly. But now, the act of informing the public on the threat of coronavirus carries with it huge risks. Reporters should neither create unwarranted panic nor underplay the gravity of the situation. Pandemic is not a word to use lightly or carelessly. It is a word that, if misused, can cause unreasonable fear or unjustified acceptance that the fight is over, leading to unnecessary sufferings and death. Publishers also need to be mindful of the message they are sending with certain photos. The hunger for information is insatiable right now. Sanitation workers are the backbone of the waste management system, but most of them work under inhumane conditions, without safety gear and social security. Hence, sanitation workers and manual scavengers are at an increased risk of exposure to COVID 19. Sanitation workers clean garbage, sewers, and public toilets. They come in direct contact with human waste and toxic gases and are often at risk of chronic diseases. Sanitation workers come under the essential services category and are on the front lines. Our government need to ensure they are equipped with safety gear. There is a need for considering or recognizing the informal workers and other sanitary workers. WHO, that is World Health Organization, issued guidance for sanitation workers. Workers should be trained on symptoms of COVID 19 and precautions taken. They should be provided health checkup and setting appropriate vaccinations. Workers should adhere to basic hygiene practices. Workers should not eat, drink, chew gum, tobacco, or smoke while handling human waste. They should be provided with special protective clothing in case of biomedical waste handling from quarantine households, isolation wards, and home care centers. Work clothing should be decontaminated daily. With no information, absence of safety gear, and endless work shifts, ambulance pilots found themselves caught in the epicenter of the coronavirus. As per rules and norms, in a medical crisis, it is the ambulance that is closest to the emergency location. Ambulance drivers do not have the option to reject an assignment. When the virus sweeping the country and the focus on preventing deaths, Here is hoping these warriors receive their due in care and kind. Taking ill has never been a more menacing situation than in recent times, and more often than not, the time taken to reach a hospital. Every day is a reminder that life is fleeting and we are blessed with it. Ambulance drivers have ferried thousands of COVID patients in the last 8 months, keeping aside fears of contagion. A 12-hour shift often turned 16-hour breakless travails. In this situation, ambulance drivers have done the role of superheroes, and these frontline workers have stood up to every challenge during these testing times. Their families begged them to leave the risky job. Some rented separate rooms to keep away from families lest they pass on the infection. But they persevered, and their support must be held in high regard as the city puts the worst behind it. Walking the tightrope between life and death is something ambulance drivers pick up quickly on the job. They must arrive in time to take patients to the hospital before their conditions deteriorate. Then they must transport bodies from the mortuary to a crematorium or cemetery just as swiftly so as to not upset grieving families. But between these two jobs, drivers perform a host of other functions that are often overlooked, particularly during the pandemic. Jittery patients, that is, those patients, those who are having shocking that they are infected, should be given counsel, and families who seek the ambulance are given advice on how to stay cautious of the virus. And some of the ambulance drivers said that more than anything else, the pandemic has accentuated the instinct of survival like never before. Families are afraid of their dead kin and don't even want to come close to the bodies. It breaks the ambulance driver's heart. In such cases, ambulance drivers themselves carry the dead bodies to the mortuary or to the crematory place, and they do all the things for their relations or for the people. In such cases, the ambulance drivers reported that they didn't even sleep in those days. They have the nightmares of driving the van from the mortuary to the cemetery, putting bodies in the van. Driving one of the ambulances in the fleet was 30-year-old Veeralakshmi, who also became the first woman ambulance pilot in the state. Veeralakshmi got the job after serving as a call taxi driver for 3 years in Chennai. A mother of two, Veeralakshmi said after watching the entire country battling against the COVID-19 pandemic, she wanted to help the people. This prompted her to take up the job. Irrespective of seasons, our milk vendors will present at our doorsteps in the morning and evening. No one can replace their work. Whether they attend their own family functions or celebrations, they will never forget our need for milk. In such a way, they play an important role in our day-to-day life. So, our milk vendors stood next in our frontline workers. During these difficult times of the dairy farmers, our cows and buffaloes must be taken care of, as any compromise on their feeding and health care would impact reproductive efficiency and productivity. Both governments and dairy cooperatives should provide these inputs and services to the farmers on subsidized rates or deferred payments basis. The country cannot afford to go through another phase of supply disruption, resulting in pressures on availability and prices of milk. COVID-19 crisis has witnessed reverse migration of labor force from urban to rural areas, leading to social disruptions. On the positive side, we can look at this as an opportunity. These workers can be encouraged and incentivized to join their family agriculture or dairy farms. COVID-19 has made people more aware of the need to adapt a healthy diet. In contrast to sectors like construction, manufacturing, hotel, travel, and tourism, etc., which were severely hit by the lockdown restrictions, the dairy industry seems to have done remarkably well. Globally, COVID-19 impact has pushed many large commercial dairy farms, even in the most dairy developed nations, to the brink of closure, prompting governments to announce bailouts. In the present context, it makes smart business sense for our dairy industry to increase milk procurement for making small milk products to meet the growing demand for milk and milk products. Many dairy organizations initiated home delivery of milk and milk products through mobile carts, vans, e-commerce, etc. All these measures helped stabilize milk sales, opening up opportunities to use e-commerce. Many smart and progressive dairy farmers converted their surplus milk into Goa, paneer, ghee, etc., and sold it to the neighborhood markets through informal channels. All these measures helped sustain dairy industry. COVID-19 pandemic has thrown up the real possibility for our dairy industry to benefit, as large sections of consumers may shift from meat-based to dairy-based protein. COVID-19 has made people more aware of the need to adapt a healthy diet. Millions of our animal owning households, the majority being smallholders, particularly those connected to producer centric institutions, continue to milk their cows and buffaloes and sell the surplus to the village milk collection centers. Milk was then pooled, cooled, and transported to processing centers where it was pasteurized, packaged, and dispatched to thousands of marketing outlets, finally finding its way to millions of homes. Of course, during the initial phases of the lockdown restrictions, both milk procurement and sales of milk were impacted in several parts of the country due to supply chain disruptions. India continued to procure milk from the farmers, which resulted in surplus milk. We used this extra milk in production of skimmed milk powder. In what seems a record production of skimmed milk powder, India doubled its production in just 1.5 months during lockdown. Next in the frontline workers comes the pharmacist. Since the start of the new coronavirus outbreak in December 2019, pharmacists worldwide are playing a key role, adopting innovative strategies to minimize the adverse impact of the pandemic. Pharmacists working in several localities and health facilities are linked to patients either directly or indirectly. They ensure effective medicine supply system monitoring and resolving drug shortage issues, establishing and promoting remote pharmacy services, counseling the public on infection prevention basics, educating about proper use of personal protective equipment, discouraging self medication, participating in clinical trials, small scale manufacturing of sanitizers and disinfectants, bursting the prevailing myths, and conducting drug evaluation and active surveillance. These interventions will help ease unprecedented burden on healthcare facilities during the ongoing pandemic and eventually will add value to patients and the healthcare system. India is playing the role as the pharmacy of the world during the COVID 19 pandemic with its vast experience and deep knowledge in medicine, setting the tone for many regional and global initiatives. India has so far supplied medicines to 133 countries in the fight against COVID 19, which shows India's generosity. Despite the fact that the country's government has taken urgent measures to prevent and treat the disease on a national scale. This is a worthy and responsible example of the behavior of a major power. Vegetable vendors next come in our frontline workers. They also join the fight against COVID. While selling vegetables in different localities, they request buyers to maintain social distancing. They come to doorsteps to help people during lockdown to avoid the spread of virus. In a bid to spread awareness among people and also among themselves, a list of vendors was prepared and they were given instructions in separate batches on how to maintain safe from coronavirus infection and protect themselves while they were on work. As vegetable vendors roam around in different localities where they come in contact with large number of people every day, they were exposed to threat of COVID-19. If any one of them becomes infected, they may pose a risk to not only their kin but also to many others as well. Despite of all these, they come forward to help people apart from earning. Last but not least, our volunteers stood in the frontline workers. A positive impact from volunteering is more pronounced during midlife and older age. Younger people are more likely to engage in irregular volunteering. Volunteering can alter self perceptions, allowing people to build confidence and self esteem and to learn new skills. This may help to counteract low mood by producing more positive thinking. It has also been suggested that volunteering can affirm one's social identity, important when other roles have diminished. They work constantly with no time to process all their emotions. They felt sorry for those they couldn't help. There were so many unattended people who need volunteers. Volunteers spend several hours of their day in getting information about hospital beds, oxygen cylinders, food deliveries, and plasma donors. They form groups to help the needy on time wherever they are. The group also helps people restart their business and provides financial aid to those affected by the pandemic. A majority of volunteers were joining through social media. They had doctors, nurses, and people from all walks of life who want to lend a helping hand to those in need. Most of these volunteers are working professionals. It is not easy to manage both work and volunteering, but frequent requests on groups keep them going. Thank you, volunteers. We must cooperate to our government, which is bringing rules and regulations for our wellness. We must salute and be thankful for the unselfish, respectful work of the frontline workers throughout our life. Thank you.